What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I would like to welcome you all to another edition of Wayne's Perspective, where we operate in discipline, decency, integrity, and respect. And speaking of discipline, that's going to be the case with today's video. But before I get started and deliver all this game to everyone, I want to give a mad shout out to everyone who came through and viewed my video talking about that Stephen A. Smith mumbo jumbo and everybody who commented. I just want to say thank you all. I appreciate it. Hopefully, my subscriber count goes up. It was real good doing that video. I haven't went back and actually listened to it yet, but I do appreciate the views and the comments and the likes and all that. So mad props to all of you for that. So and yes, by the way, for my old school heads, I did say mumbo jumbo. Okay, that one no slip of the lip over here. So, all right. So moving on. So today's video, what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna touch on something that's been talked about not just within recent times, but definitely within recent years. Whatever the case may be. But apparently there's been a lot of videos coming out or have been coming out regarding women saying men don't approach them no more and want to know what's going on and blah 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 blah. So of course, when I was listening to my YouTube clips today, I ran across one video. I can't recall exactly which one I ran across because I listened to so many inside of one day. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and do a video on that today. So I do hope this reach a lot of people because when I'm about to deliver right now, I think it's going to help out a lot of people. Not just the women, but this is mainly going to be for my fellas, my brothers. So I definitely want to get this in and present this game to you. I have about 5 things that I want to go into in terms of things not just from a personal perspective, but things that I feel will help out my brothers, and hopefully the ladies will hear what I say and, adjust accordingly, and appropriately. So that's what I aim to do with this video. But first, I want to start with a few things. So previously, way back in the day, I was a shy brother, mainly during my middle school and high school years. So whenever it came to approaching a girl way back then, I never could do it. And was that part of me? Well, okay, was it a part of me that was afraid of rejection like most of us are? Yeah. So way back when, if there was a cute girl that caught my eye, I used to always say, I could go to a friend, but I couldn't go to her directly. And and all my old school heads, you remember way back in the day when we saw a girl that we liked and we couldn't approach her directly, we would go to her friend or even her family member and be like, can you hook me up? Can you put me down? And that's how that all started. So that was way back when, way before social media was a thing and all that. So after a while, as I got older, I got more comfortable in my skin regarding approaching women. I never had any bad experiences with it. It's all in the approach and everything that comes with that. And like I said, I'm going to talk about that in this particular video. So, so stay tuned for that. So, so that's my basic, history with that. Nothing extensive or nothing too complex. It's just, previously I was real shy, but as I got older, that shyness went away. So, it wasn't a thing to me to approach someone. So it's all in how you do it. And like I said, I'm going to get to that. And next, so the question that most women are asking today, why don't men approach women no more? What's going on? Well, I can tell you, it's two things. Number one is the attitude. Now, don't come for me in the comments, but I'm gonna direct this to women in general, but specifically to my sisters, my black women, my sisters. I love y'all, even though recent years have, we've seen a lot from you all, but let's be clear, I love my sisters, all right? So so it's the attitude. So in this case, that says it all. A man does not want to approach a woman with a funky attitude. I mean, that's obvious. Just like if you flip that around, a woman doesn't even want to approach a man if he's like standoffish. Think about it, fellas. Do you want to approach a woman whose entire disposition is pretty much leave me alone? And women, do you Do you want to approach a man who feel like he's mean mugging for the world to see? Excuse me. Think about these things. That's the main premise of it. And going back to the whole attitude thing, and I think I've heard about this, but some women, not all, definitely not all, but some women tend to get off on rejecting men. Like, that is nothing to be proud of. It's nothing to be celebratory of. It's nothing to have fun about, because why would anyone want to get off of rejecting men? Now, let's keep it clear. Are there creeps and things like that? Are there people who don't have other people's best interests in heart? Yes. But let's keep it clear, ladies, that doesn't define every single black man that you come in contact with. Let's make that clear. Just because you meet one weirdo, that doesn't mean that every single black man is a weirdo or a creep or anything like that. Just like in reverse, it's the same deal. So I just wanted to make that clear. So it starts with the attitude. If your attitude says you don't want to be approached, you don't want to be bothered with, then men are going to react accordingly. I mean, that's just common sense right there. And besides, why would you want to approach someone if they're going to have a disposition like that? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it makes sense. The second thing, and I think this is the most appealing one, is the social media effect. We've seen what has happened with social media. We long past the days of MySpace. We're long past the days of Black Planet, and stuff like that. Now we're in a true social media age, with Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, all of that, even YouTube, so we're definitely in a social media age. And this effect on why men don't approach women like that is because of the things that women have been saying and how women have been acting within recent years. It's out there. Going to YouTube right now, you're bound to get a video or run into a video where women are speaking ill in terms of men, and stuff like that. And it's the whole social media vibe. And what one woman says is it usually go viral, and then all the other women follow accordingly. And that's not sisterhood, y'all. Believe me. Granted, they stay on code, but sometimes they stay on code for the wrong reasons. But you know, I digress. But like I said, it's the whole social media effect. For example, remember the Cheesecake Factory girl. Remember her? Then, even though she got dragged mostly for that, the next thing you know, there was a list of places that women were not going to go to. And what was at the top of that list? Cheesecake Factory. So it's like people pick the wrong ideas to copy and hop on the wrong trends for the wrong reasons and everything like that. So, yes, the attitude and the social media effect, those two things right there, pretty much, you know, that's why men aren't approaching women like they have in the past. It's because of that. Now, I'm sure I've left some things out, but those are two things that came to mind immediately. So, with all that being said, we're going to go ahead and get right into the video. So, this right here, like I said, this is for my fellas. Now, I am going to address the ladies, throughout this, but this is for my fellas, of all ages, especially those under 25, and even those over 25 who may want a fresh perspective on this, tune in because I got it for you. So, all right, now let's start. So, the number one thing, in this case, regarding, you know, things getting better or things improving in terms of men approaching women is definitely the timing. Okay. The timing is everything, y'all. And even women to tell you that timing is everything, you know, and when, where, and how it's done is vital. It's vital to everything, and that speaks volumes. So, and I do have a couple of examples. So, number one, all right, if a woman is sitting by herself at a table, be sure to ask if it's okay if you sit down. That because that's important. It may be a little thing to us, but to women, that's a big deal. Now, if she says yes, I'll go into that further in the video. However, if she says no, do not proceed and sit down anyway. Just don't do it. That's a huge turnoff right there, and it's not gonna end well for either one of you. just apologize for the brief interruption. And also, if you want to take it a step further, you can always ask, is everything okay? Everything all right? Now, if she responds accordingly, then you respond accordingly. But if she still doesn't want you to sit down, just don't force the issue. Like I said, apologize for the brief interruption, wish her a good day, and move on. Forcing it is only going to make it worse. You definitely don't want to force any situation like that. You just don't. Secondly, try not to approach a woman at the grocery store, especially if she got kids with her. And also, if she has like a full basket of groceries, you know what time it is. And what I mean by that is that, the woman is all about her business, obviously. And women and men as well, we don't like being interrupted when we're taking care of business. So basically, in many ways, you got to be strategic and you got to be disciplined in your approach. I mean, it makes sense. Do you really want to try to approach a woman with a full basket and probably two or three kids? She already grocery shopping, which is taking a lot because, as most men know, when we're in the grocery store with a woman, they can take their time. I've been there. I know what that's like. You know, so basically, the woman on one end, she has to get what she's gonna get because she's trying to feed her family or whatever, especially if she's a single mom. But then on the other end, she's ready to get the hell out of there because she's probably been in there, for a long time. And at the end of that, do you really want to try to approach her, with all this, she got her kids, especially if they a little bit unruly. So do you want to approach her with kids and she trying to shop, she trying to do this and that? It's not gonna make for a good experience. And it's gonna frustrate you and it's gonna irritate the woman. It's gonna frustrate you because you meant well, but this is the response that you got. It's gonna irritate the woman because it's more or less like, okay, I'm trying to take care of business. Like, what'd you come at me for? And see, then it's that type of attitude that makes it clear as to why men don't approach women. But again, my fellas, you got to be strategic and you got to be disciplined in your approach, as well as reading the room. In this case, reading the grocery store. You just got to be disciplined with it. All right. Next up is the appearance. Okay. All right. Now this one here, this is important, just like all the rest of them. So depending on where you're going, make sure you look your best. Now I'm not saying that you got to step into place with a three-piece suit, but looking presentable, that plays a key role because just like men are visual creatures, you know, women can be visual creatures too. Now depending on the type of woman that you're seeking, if you step to her with your pants sagging and your underwear showing grills, now grills may or may not be an in thing in 2024 as I talk about this. But if you got all that and your hat turned back, and every word that you say is bro, she gonna look past you with the quickness, and ain't gonna be no need for you to shoot your shot. First impressions last, and if you miss in a situation like this, there may not be a second chance. So definitely look your best. And also, just to make one other comment, it would not be surprising to me if there are some women who go for guys who dress like that, the pants sagging and the underwear showing the hat to the back and all that. And if that's what they want to go for, that's them. But at the same time, don't be surprised at the results that you get. That's the main thing here. And I mean, it's simple. Now, me, I'm 39. I turned 40 on June 25th of this year. Okay. So it every time when I see guys with their pants sagging and their underwear showing and they got on skinny jeans to match, I mean, I see it all the time. Take your pick. I see it at the barbershop. I see it at the grocery store. I see it at Target, Walmart, the car wash, you name it, I see it. The one place I don't see it at work. Because I said in a previous video that in my line of work, they're simply not going to put up with that. Somebody's going to ask you on the spot to pull your pants up, and rightfully so, because we should long be past the point when sagging is the end thing, but some things never change, y'all. So moving on, number three, the way you speak. Okay, this one right here this is simple yet effective. Now, in my view, it's best if a woman is by herself. If you're going to approach her, that's just a personal preference. Everybody may be different. Others may want to approach her in a social setting. And that's fine. But like I said, that's just my personal preference. And also, and of course, make sure the breath is fresh. That's obvious. That takes us way back to our childhood. And for my hip hop heads, remember Das Effects, Microphone Master. Scoob said, chew gum to ease the breath. So if you got to do that, you got to do that. And also, remember an episode of The Fresh Prince when it was the episode when Will took no Malcolm Jamal Warner, who was dating Hillary. Him and Will got into a little fender bender, and Michael Jamal Warner's character, I can't remember the name of the character he played, but they went to court, and when Will Smith was on the stand, Will was like, he had some banaka because, what did he say? He had some banaka because, and I'm paraphrasing, he had some banaka, and he made sure to keep that on him because having fresh breath, basically having fresh breath is like, that's gonna make the difference in between you getting a honey's number and you being flipped the bird. I remember that. So so that part of how you speaking, yes, that's essential right there, because if you come in the spot with not so fresh breath, yeah, you're not going to get anywhere. But continuing on, so the way that you speak, like I said, simple yet effective. All you have to do is say, and like I said, I'm gonna just further the example. All you have to do is be like, hey, good morning or good afternoon or good evening. My name is Steven. What's your name? Now, if she answers, you reply with, nice to meet you, Elizabeth. And make sure you repeat her name back. If you said my name is, nice to meet you, Elizabeth, that's gonna bring a smile. Am I speaking from experience? Yes. Women do like little things like that. So like I said, you do that, you'll get a smile. Now, and if there's a vibe and you take the conversation from there, just keep things going, simple. Now, also, if they have someone in their lives, whether they, in a relationship, they talking to someone, or if they're engaged or something like that, or if they're married, and I'm going to touch on that later, just keep it moving. Fellas, don't succumb to the temptation by asking for a number. And if she offers it, politely decline. Don't take it. The goal here is to be more disciplined in your approach. No tolerance for drama, none at all. So I don't care how good she looks. If she offers your number, or say, something like, when my boyfriend wouldn't mind, or I'm not going to tell him anything, or blah, blah, blah. No, just don't do it. just keep it moving, and like I said, it's all about being disciplined with it. Just because she looks good and she's easy on the eyes, don't mean that you have to get her number. Doesn't mean that. And also, fellas, during this process, and ladies, I gotta say it, I gotta say it. So, but fellas, if they come at you with all these financial obligations and basically asking to do this and do that, and y'all ain't even went on a date yet, or if it proceeds to a date, but she's looking, for like anywhere close to $500 and up on the first date, no, 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 no. Why? It's simple. No self-respecting person should be spending that much on a first date. Now, if you get to know someone in the process and it builds to the first date, okay, that's one thing. But if they come out the gate with that, you got to go the other way, because you already know who you're going to be dealing with. It's that simple. And speaking of simple, that brings me to number 4. Fellas, going back to you. If you're rejected, move on and don't look back. And speaking from experience, like most of us, I know it's not a good feeling to be on the receiving end of rejection, but it's not the end of the world. And there's many ladies out there just waiting in the wings to be swept off their feet for the right reasons. The right reasons. So, like I said, if you get rejected, just move on. It's no use in arguing. It's no use in going back and forth. I mean, just move on. We're men. We can handle that. I was about to say, we're big boys, but no, we're men. We can handle that. We just move on and it's on to the next. It's that simple. I know I keep repeating that, but at the end of the day, it really is simple. And last but not least, going back to my fellas again, going back to us. Okay, last but not least, stay away from women in relationships, especially those that are married. Avoid them like the plague. I don't care how good she looks or what her situation is, particularly if she's still legally married but separated. Don't do it. It's not worth the drama. I'm dead serious with that. Am I speaking from experience? No. But I have heard some stories, and I can tell you one thing: it's like, again, it's not worth the drama. And women, the same thing for y'all. Leave married men alone. It's 2024. Just stop. You know, I don't care what his situation is. If he's 6 foot, six pack abs with, making six figures or whatever and drive the best car, live in the best neighborhood, got the best job. I don't care. Leave married men alone. You know, leave them alone. It's that simple. And speaking of simple, before I close this video, let me share with you all a personal experience. And this is back in the mid part of 2022. I want to say it was either in April or May. Now, at this point, I had two jobs. So when I was getting off from my first job, I went to a nearby Walmart to get a few things. And when I was walking through the parking lot on my way into the store, I just happened to look to my left and I saw this fine shorty. I mean, when I say fine, not only was she, brown skin, but she was thick with it. And it looked like she was in the gym. And based on what she was wearing, it looks like either she was on her way to the gym or she was coming from the gym. Now, I didn't approach her in the parking lot, but I was thinking to myself, I'm like, you know what, man? I got to get this lady's name and number before I leave out this store. So I made it my personal mission to, you know, try to see her in the store. So now, me being me, normally when I go into the store and I get one or two or three items, I'm usually in and out. I try not to spend any more time in the store than normal, and that's for most men. So I know my fellas can sympathize with me on that for the lack of a better word. So I was in the I guess the food area, where everything is at. So I happened to see her. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna shoot my shot. So I went to an alternate aisle, basically in an attempt to see that, okay, if I come from a different area or a different part of the aisle, I'm gonna, check and see if I see a ring on that finger. So it just so happens that once I got near her, I saw that ring and I went the other way. I left and I went to my second job. I was like, nope, I didn't care how good she looked or whatever, because she looked good. Like I said, she looked like she was in the gym on a consistent basis, and she was toned right, had a nice little body, but she had a ring. I went the other way. you know it's not worth the try. Well, you don't know if she's married, you don't know if she's happy, you don't know if she's gonna get a divorce or whatever. It's not worth the try, and it's just not. And as my son, as he gets older, I'm gonna give him that same game as well. Do not get involved with a married woman or a woman who has somebody. Just don't do it. And like I said, um I always remember that experience from that Walmart. And I've always said that, you know, married women or women in relationships, no, it's not worth the headaches that come along with that, especially the married women, you know. So I just wanted to share that. But like I said, when I saw that ring, I was like, all right, and I left. Didn't think twice. So on that note, um, if you like what you heard and you're ready to become part of Team Discipline, go ahead and hit the like button and drop some comments. And speaking of comments, let me know your thoughts. Did I leave out some things? Let me know what you think. If you have some things that you want to add, fellas, go ahead and drop them in the comments. Ladies, drop them in the comments. If you disagree with my approaches, let me know what you think, and we can get a conversation started over here. But I personally think all of this is helpful. And in terms of men approaching women, hopefully this video will get the ball rolling and get things in a different position, or should I say get things to where they should be, even ground and everything that comes along with that. So, you know, so there we go. So if you're feeling the content, like I said, go ahead and hit the like button, drop your comments, and last but not least, hit that subscribe button along with the bell so you're notified when I drop new videos. And until next time, my people, Take care and remember the power of the mind is